So it is currently 5:30 a.m. right on the dot, and I just spent the past like 3 2ish hours talking to a random guy I found on a Discord VC about a bunch of shit. It made me think about how nice it is to connect with people sometimes. I feel as if at least people in my generation, they don't really like to connect with anybody. They're very individualistic. They like to stay in their own little bubble, which I can understand, but I've kind of forgotten how nice it feels to just yap and talk to people. Which is kind of why I've started making these videos, just to start a conversation, start talking to people, man. I miss connecting with people on one-to-one and just sharing my thoughts. I mean, at school, I feel like, well, before the phone ban, of course, everybody was just kind of on their phones in class, not really talking to anybody. I remember my hospitality class, I spent it mainly on my phone, just either scrolling or doing nothing, because I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't really want to socialize, because why should I socialize with random ass people, you know? But after, schools banned phones everywhere here in America, people started actually like wanting to talk to others again, which is pretty nice. Kind of sucks that if there's an active shooter, I wouldn't be able to call my mom or anything if I have it locked up. But like, you gotta give something up for a connection, I guess. But yeah, connecting, conversations, all that shit, it's nice. I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because I've been using this channel as a bit of a digital diary for my thoughts. Um, yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. Just conversations are nice, connecting with people are nice. It just kind of feels like everybody nowadays, they're all in their own little space. They don't really want to talk to anybody. Well, I mean, I can understand like if you're scared, if you're introverted, if you're anything like that. But I'm a very extroverted person, and sometimes just seeing everybody on their phones just kind of makes me more introverted, and I feel like that shouldn't be the way it is. Because I love to talk to people. I love to make these videos. I love yapping away, honestly. But it's kind of sad. It's just sad to see everybody on their phones, and sometimes I'll see like a family, maybe at like a diner or like somewhere, and like the mom and the kid will be on their phones and they're not even communicating to each other. It's just damn, like what happened to human connections? Like, I get a phone being a way to de-stress yourself, a way to cope, but I don't. That's like using like methamphetamine or cocaine to. Well, not even. I wouldn't go to that extreme. But using drugs to escape reality, that's what you're using your phone for. You're escaping reality. But when that reality is taking you away from making friends and all that shit, it's just. I mean, social media was supposed to make us connect with each other, but I feel like it's creating more of a disconnect than anything else. And it's just terrifying to see how everybody is so disconnected from each other. And right now I'm thinking of even my own personal life with my relationship, how sometimes it feels like my boyfriend will go on his phone and kind of forget about me. He doesn't do it often, of course. I'm not trying to like shade him or anything, but it just kind of sucks when you're hanging out with someone, even if it's a friend, a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and they just in front of you when they could be talking about their day, their aspirations, if they even have any, because I feel like phone use just kind of takes away what it means to be a human, in a way, because you kind of replace who you are with what you see online. You kind of replace your hobbies with whatever people want you to be like, whatever people want you to make, and it's just not a fun time. I don't really know. I don't really know anything. I really hate seeing everybody on their phones around me, and it's been taking a toll on me, kind of. And this conversation I had with this complete stranger, I've never met this man in my life, just really like, it made me feel human. We talked about childhood memories. We talked about, well, he's significantly older than me. I think he's like 30 or something, and I'm a teenager. But we were so able to connect about stuff like hacking, art, I'm not a hacker by any means, but he grew up around the time where technology was starting to be like created and social media and all that stuff. He was gonna tell me about what it was like, because I like all that old tech, 2000s, 90s, 80s, all that shit. We talked about movies, we talked about, there's a bunch of shit, and it felt nice to connect with someone else on that sort of level. You don't really feel that anymore, especially not face to face. You don't really get to connect with people face to face nowadays, it feels like, because everybody's on their phones, or everybody just doesn't want to talk to people. And I feel like I feel like an outcast for wanting to start up a conversation. I remember in my pre-cal class, I wanted to talk to these two girls. They were talking about, out of all things, Heated Rivalry, if you know what that is. It's a pretty good show, aside from all the gay SFW. But I wanted to talk to them, and I feel like I mentioned how one of the actors was born in Texas, and they were like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And they were looking at me funny, and I felt like a fucking extraterrestrial just trying to talk to them. I shouldn't feel that way, but I still did. And I don't know. Mean people are gonna exist. You're gonna have awkward conversations. But then that also makes me think of how, due to like excessive social media use and phone usage and whatever, people have kind of forgotten how to communicate and how to make friendships and all that. Because I try and compliment someone in the hallways, right? I'll be like, hey, I like your shirt, and they'll be like, and side eye you, kind of look at you funny for wanting to compliment them, or they're like, thanks. And it's just, I take that back, actually. Fuck you, I don't like your shirt anymore. And I don't know, I guess teenagers have always been kind of shitty, but I feel like nowadays teenagers are just downright evil. At least some of the ones I'm growing up around. Society sucks. Society doesn't suck. I don't know why I said that. Teenagers suck. But you can just blame the phones for now. Thank you for stopping by and listening to me rant. I'll see you later.